A wave of negativity came Camilla Parker Bowles' way in 2019 when she sported a brooch redesigned from a diamond emerald necklace that was in Princess Diana's ownership before her death. After Diana's death, several pieces of her jewelry were returned to the royal family and have reportedly since been redistributed. While Camilla faced much scrutiny for this particular decision,
What if the crown's most guarded secret wasn't locked away from enemies, but stolen by someone trusted within the palace itself? And what if the treasure taken wasn't gold or jewels for power, but Diana's very own necklace, the symbol of a legacy the world swore would never fade? This isn't just another royal scandal. It is a tale of betrayal wrapped in silence, a hidden battle that threatened to tarnish the memory of the woman still known as the people's princess. Behind the grand walls of the monarchy, whispers grew louder. Suspicion turned into evidence, and evidence led to a shocking discovery that left William and Catherine facing a truth no heir should ever endure. Diana's story was not only being remembered, it was being rewritten. Why would someone risk everything for something that was never theirs? And how did William and Catherine uncover the truth that turned quiet suspicion into a storm inside the palace? Stay with us as we unravel the secret theft, the confrontation that silenced the halls, and the downfall that no one saw coming. The necklace that should never have been touched. The royal palace has always been portrayed as a place of dignity, tradition, and unshakable order. From the outside, it stands tall, a fortress of elegance, where nothing ever seems out of place. But inside those heavily guarded walls, silence often hides storms. The world sees crowns, ceremonies, and smiling faces on balconies, yet behind closed doors, the truth is often far more unsettling. And this truth began with something so small, so delicate, that the public could never have guessed it would tear through the royal family's peace: a missing necklace. This wasn't just any necklace. It was Diana's. The late Princess of Wales had worn it during some of her most unforgettable appearances.
This necklace was once worn by the magnificent Princess Diana and represents, in all likelihood, the only jewelry of hers.
To the people, it was simply a glittering ornament, but to her sons, William and Harry, it was a heartbeat of memory, something that carried the essence of their mother long after she was gone. For William especially, now the Prince of Wales, it was sacred.
I am proud to create him Prince of Wales, so much of my life and duty. With Catherine beside him, our new Prince and Princess of Wales,
and Catherine, his wife, treated it with the same reverence. It wasn't locked in the vault as just another piece of royal jewelry, it was guarded like a fragment of Diana's soul. So when Catherine noticed that the necklace was missing, it was as though a ghost had been disturbed. It was an evening like any other. Catherine had taken it upon herself to occasionally review the vault, a habit she never spoke about openly, but one that meant something deeply personal to her. She had never known Diana in life, yet she felt her presence in every artifact left behind. The vault was quiet, almost haunting, a sealed chamber that carried stories of laughter, sorrow, and resilience. But on this night, as she looked over the carefully arranged collection, her eyes landed on an absence. The necklace, Diana's necklace, was gone. At first, she told herself it could have been moved for maintenance. Perhaps it had been sent for inspection. These items were sometimes checked for preservation. But then came the first red flag. There was no record, no signature, no log. The official books showed no movement. Catherine's calm face concealed her unease, but inside, she knew something wasn't right. She returned again the next day, rechecking everything, scanning through the ledgers. Nothing. The necklace had vanished without a trace. When she finally spoke to William, she didn't raise her voice or let panic slip through. She simply told him what she had found, or rather, what she hadn't. William listened, silent and still, his expression giving nothing away. But within him, a storm was raging. This necklace was not just a jewel. It was the last tangible link to his mother's public grace, the image etched into history. To think it could be stolen or worse, deliberately hidden, felt like a knife to the heart. William knew better than to leap to conclusions. He asked for a discreet review of the vault's access records, keeping the circle tight so the matter would not spiral into whispers across the palace staff. Days later, the results came back. The list of names who had entered the vault seemed ordinary at first. Trusted staff, routine checks, minor visits. But then, one name appeared again and again, more often than protocol required, more often than reason allowed. Camilla. It was as though the ground shifted beneath William and Catherine at that moment. They didn't say her name out loud. They didn't want to believe it. But the logs were there in black and white. Camilla, the queen consort, had been inside the vault on multiple occasions.
Camilla is now the queen, kind of. The new king's darling wife has become the queen consort.
More times than she should have been. More times than anyone had realized. The suspicion that grew inside William's chest was one he didn't want to carry. After all, Camilla was family. But the evidence refused to be ignored. Instead of confrontation, William and Catherine chose patience. They needed proof, something undeniable. They began to watch closely. Catherine, with her keen eye, noted Camilla's subtle changes. A hesitation in conversation, a glance that lingered too long, an attempt to appear casual where formality was expected. William, though composed in public, began to withdraw in private. His words clipped, his trust shaken. The necklace wasn't just missing, it was stolen. And then came Mr. Reed, a long-serving attendant, loyal to the family, who carried more truth than he could bear. One evening, he requested a quiet meeting with Catherine. His voice shook as he confessed what he had seen. He had noticed Camilla entering the vault more than once, alone, her visits longer than necessary. Once, he had even seen her leaving with something tucked carefully away, though he hadn't dared question it. Fear had kept him silent, but guilt weighed heavily on his conscience. Catherine's calm presence gave him the courage to finally speak. Catherine listened, her expression measured, though every word confirmed what she already feared. She assured Mr. Reed that he had done the right thing, and she promised his protection. That night, when she told William, his composure cracked. For the first time, anger spilled out in his voice. She knew what that necklace meant, he said, his jaw tight, his words laced with fury. Catherine placed a hand over his, reminding him that anger would not win them justice. They needed undeniable evidence proof so clear that no one could twist or deny it. So they set a trap. Not openly, but carefully. Security was tightened around the vault, quiet checks were made, and subtle monitoring put into place. Days stretched into weeks, each one heavier than the last. And then finally, the truth revealed itself. A faint scratch on the inner lock of the vault, too subtle for the naked eye, but unmistakable upon inspection. A jewelry expert, discreetly called in under the guise of a preservation check, confirmed what they already knew but dreaded to hear. Diana's necklace had been handled recently, altered, and returned in a way that tried to erase traces of its theft. For William, the confirmation felt like a crushing weight. He stared at the report in silence, his grip tightening around the papers as if holding them could stop the truth from seeping out. He looked at Catherine, his eyes burning with both pain and fury. There was no escaping it now. The betrayal was not rumor, not suspicion. It was a fact. Camilla had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. Still, they did not confront her, not yet. William knew that the palace was a stage where every move mattered. An accusation without the right timing could backfire. Instead, they waited, silent but watchful, carrying the knowledge of the theft like a weapon kept hidden until the perfect moment. The necklace was not just a jewel. It was Diana's voice, silenced once before, now being threatened again. And this time, William and Catherine would not allow that silence to stand. The palace, to the outside world, remained the picture of calm, smiling photographs, carefully worded statements, and ceremonies carried on as if nothing had changed. But within those gilded halls, tension crackled like a storm waiting to break. The theft of Diana's necklace was not just an act of greed. It was a betrayal that cut deep into the heart of the monarchy, one that would soon erupt into a confrontation no one could have imagined. The truth hidden behind silence. Inside the palace, silence often becomes the strongest weapon. Smiles on faces, cameras flashing, everything looks perfect on the outside, but the real story is written behind closed doors. After the necklace disappeared, William and Catherine both knew life would never be the same again. Every time they walked into a banquet, a royal event, or even a family gathering, a single thought haunted them. Where is the necklace, and who has it? Camilla's name had surfaced, but confronting her was not easy. The rules of the palace, the hierarchy, and the invisible politics made it nearly impossible. For William, the greatest trial was knowing that he had to fight for his mother's memory, the same mother he had lost too soon, and whose absence was still a wound he carried every single day. Catherine, too, steeled herself. She vowed she would not let William break under the weight of it all. But every time she was forced to smile at Camilla, to stand by her side in public, she felt a fire burning inside. It wasn't just about a piece of jewelry, it was about boundaries that had been crossed, lines that should never have been touched. In the meantime, William devised a secret plan. He involved only those few people he trusted with his life. CCTV footage was reviewed, old access logs were retrieved, and staff movements were studied with meticulous care. It was all conducted in silence, behind layers of discretion. But the deeper they dug, the more undeniable the pattern became. Camilla's access times aligned with the very moments when the necklace went missing. One evening, William and Catherine sat together at a long wooden table, documents spread before them like pieces of a puzzle. Every page, every line pointed in one direction. Catherine whispered, almost as if afraid the walls might hear her. If this is true, then this isn't just theft. It's a performance. She wants the world to believe Diana's legacy now belongs to her. William lowered his head, his voice tight with emotion. She's always tried to compete with my mother, but this time, she's gone too far. Then came the moment that changed everything. During a small gathering, Catherine's eyes froze. Around Camilla's neck was a necklace, strikingly similar to Diana's. To most guests, it was just another royal jewel, one more glittering accessory in a world of diamonds. But Catherine knew. Her heart stopped. She turned to William, whose face betrayed both fury and pain. That necklace, even if altered, carried Diana's shadow. After the event, the decision was made. There would be no more waiting. They gathered evidence, collected testimonies, and even prepared Mr. Reed, the long-serving staff member who had witnessed Camilla lingering in the vault to speak when the time came. But both William and Catherine understood something much larger was at stake. This wasn't just about reclaiming an heirloom. This was about defending Diana's honor, about ensuring her voice was not silenced once again. The silent war took its toll on them. For William, mornings began with his mother's photograph staring back at him, as if urging him to fight. Don't let them take me away again, his heart seemed to hear. Catherine, though she stood strong for William, carried her own torment. Every smile at public engagements felt like a mask, every laugh like a betrayal of the truth she carried inside. Was a necklace truly powerful enough to shake the foundation of the monarchy? To some, it was only gold and diamonds. But to them, it was everything. A piece of Diana's soul, a link that no one else had the right to claim. And so, together, they made their choice. The evidence was there, the witnesses ready, and the silence could not last forever. This necklace was no longer just Diana's jewel. It had become the line between truth and lies, between respect and betrayal. William and Catherine would tear down that line, no matter what it cost, even if it meant standing against their own family. The palace walls still looked unshaken from the outside. The photos, the ceremonies, the polite smiles, they continued as though nothing was wrong. But behind those walls, a storm had already begun. And soon, that storm would break into a confrontation the world was never meant to see. Triumph of truth, Diana's legacy secured. The final confrontation had arrived. Every whispered suspicion, every subtle clue, and every sleepless night led to this moment. William and Catherine stood at the heart of the palace, a quiet determination radiating from their every move. It wasn't just about the necklace anymore. It was about justice, honor, and the promise they had made to protect Diana's memory from those who sought to overshadow it. The palace corridors, usually echoing with life and laughter, seemed almost solemn, as if even the walls recognized the gravity of what was about to unfold. A private meeting room had been prepared, small yet secure, where secrets could no longer hide. Catherine's calm composure contrasted with the storm brewing inside her. William's eyes, sharp and unwavering, reflected the weight of his responsibility. Across from them, Camilla sat in silence, her elegant posture betraying nothing at first. But every subtle twitch, every shallow breath revealed the tension that had finally caught up with her. William spoke first, his voice low but edged with steel. "This is no longer a matter of debate. The evidence is clear, undeniable. The necklace you took, it belongs to my mother. To wear it as your own, without consent, is betrayal, not just of a family, but of a legacy built on love, compassion, and courage." Camilla's mask of composure faltered. She opened her mouth to speak, but found no words that could justify what had been done. For a moment, silence took over, thick and almost suffocating. Catherine stepped forward, her presence calm yet commanding. "We have every proof. Witness testimony, security logs, expert verification, all pointing to your actions. There is no defense that can withstand this truth." The room seemed to shrink under the weight of reality. Camilla's eyes darted briefly to the door, to the walls, to anything. But there was no escape. William felt a surge of something deeper than anger. It was a sense of duty, of standing up for the memory of the woman who had shaped him, who had sacrificed everything for her family and her people. Every glance at Camilla was a reminder of years of silence broken, of injustice confronted. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Camilla's defenses crumbled. The necklace was returned, carefully placed back in its rightful vault, the pearls glinting under the soft light like tiny fragments of Diana's spirit. But even as the treasure was restored, William and Catherine knew that the breach of trust could never fully heal. Some wounds, once inflicted, leave a permanent mark. Yet they also knew that truth, once revealed, carries a power stronger than deception. The palace, outwardly unchanged, remained a stage for the world to see smiles, ceremonies, and flawless photographs. But within, a quiet victory had been won. The necklace was more than an heirloom now, it was a symbol, a testament to the courage required to confront lies and uphold legacy. William and Catherine had not only reclaimed a piece of jewelry, but had also reaffirmed their commitment to Diana's memory, proving that even in the face of betrayal, honor could prevail. This moment became a turning point. The lessons were etched deeply into their hearts. Betrayal may attempt to overshadow the past, envy may cloud judgment, but truth has a resilience that cannot be denied. Every glance at the restored necklace reminded them of their duty, not just to Diana, but to the generations that would follow, ensuring that the history of compassion, bravery, and resilience remained intact. As they left the meeting, the palace corridors no longer felt oppressive. Each step resonated with purpose. They knew the battle had been fought quietly, decisively, and with dignity. Their victory was not loud, but it was enduring. The necklace, once a symbol of envy and deception, now represented courage, integrity, and unwavering loyalty to a memory that could never be erased. For the public, life continued as always. The palace appeared untouched by scandal, the royals moved gracefully, and the ceremonies carried on with their usual grandeur. Yet, the truth had shifted the balance inside, quietly reshaping the center of power, reinforcing the role of William and Catherine as guardians of Diana's legacy. They had stood for honor when it mattered most, ensuring that the voice of truth would echo long after silence had tried to bury it. And so, this story leaves a powerful reminder. Truth, no matter how long it hides in shadows, will eventually emerge. Courage, integrity, and the will to protect what is right cannot be silenced forever. Diana's memory lives on not just in photographs, not just in jewels, but in the actions of those who fight to honor it. If this story inspires you and you want to uncover more hidden truths, shocking revelations, and untold tales from history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tap the bell icon. Every like, every subscription helps us continue bringing these stories to light, ensuring that the hidden chapters of history are never forgotten.